What is up? It is Andy on a Tuesday, and we got a couple things to talk about because as I'm filming this right now, the Colorado Avalanche tied the game at 2 against the Seattle Kraken, which reinforces something that I tried telling you before the playoffs started. The champion's resolve allows a team to come back in all different types of situations where if there's a team who's never made it over the hump, usually when things go wrong, that's it, like it's over for them. But once a team wins, there is no situation that is insurmountable. You're talking about 4 straight games the Avalanche have went down in. 2-0 in Game 2, won that game. They gave up the first goal in Game 3. They blew a 2-goal lead, ended up winning that one. Now, I don't know if they're going to end up winning this one. It's tied. I would guess they're the favorite to win right now, and using the momentum, they usually seize that kind of thing. And if they do, I mean, that's just the series completely over, by the way. But this is what I was talking about. This is why you should never panic. If you're a panicker, Colorado's not the team for you. I told you to back that horse months ago, and along the way, there have been many games where it's like, oh my God, they're not playing. They always up their game at the right time. And if they did hold on to win this game, I mean, this is one of the most absurd road stretches you will ever see in the history of the playoffs. Just letting you know that. Hopefully Colorado won because it means the night was relatively decent. Then if they didn't, don't know what to tell you other than I guess it happens. It was hard to foresee the Rangers. The only thing that was worrisome to me was that every single person, I've told you guys, rats don't really live on ice. It's not like the NFL where it's just a rat infestation. Many times there can be 80% of the public on something, but I think more than 80. I think 98% of the public was on the Rangers, and that was the only worry. So anytime a group of college kids tell you, think about how many things that college kids are incorrect about. They're good at a grand total of nothing. They have expertise in nothing. And when they are all lining up on one side of something, that's when I was like, uh-oh. Because I was watching the game with my younger brother and his hockey teammates, and when they were all saying the Rangers, I'm like, oh, God, we're losing this one. But to those Devils fans out there, if you think I'm like, oh my God, I owe you. You think I don't want you to win? You think I don't want the New York Rangers to lose this series as an Islanders fan? It's going to be a nightmare if they win the Stanley Cup or something. But I'm just calling it straight. I have to get, there are people here from Norway watching this. They don't watch a minute of hockey. They don't watch a single minute of hockey, a whole ton of people. And I hate them all. I've said it from day one. If anyone who just comes here for picks to put on a ticket and you don't watch it, you don't enjoy hockey, I hope you lose every single time. I hope you lose every bet the rest of your life because we got nothing in common. You're a guy about making money. I'm a guy about sniffing and talking hockey.
Say hockey.
But the Rangers looked like the Islanders. They mailed it in. They did not give the necessary effort. And as they were saying on the TNT or TBS broadcast, what a weird network, by the way. Like TNT, I get it, but when they throw it on TBS, I think of like Saved by the Bell and Seinfeld reruns. And then all of a sudden it's got a hockey game. And then when a game goes to overtime like last night, they kick it to True TV. I'm watching the Avalanche on True TV with the aka Impractical Jokers Network. They're just playing Impractical Jokers 7 days straight. And then they'll put on like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then right back to Impractical Jokers, and now the Colorado Avalanche. It's just a really weird thing. However, the Devils, they were able to tie the series. And congrats, Devils fans. They showed a little more. They were still undisciplined, and the Rangers didn't make them pay. The Rangers just look so lazy out there. If you're a Devils fan, you should have hope. I still think the Rangers are going to win this series. I would pick the Rangers to win next game, but although now I have to be like, oh my God. Now I have to hold up a little bit because now those older 30s veterans are just playing lazy. Kane looked lazy. Tarasenko, they were all look lazy out there. So we got to see what happens next game. I hope the Devils win, but if I had to pick right now, I would imagine the Rangers, who were feeling that Stanley Cup juju after games 1 and 2, will figure out a way to correct the ship. They did go to the Eastern Conference Final last year. And somebody is just screaming at the video right now. Screaming because they want today's picks. I'm going to give you today's picks after I remind you about Caesars, where we're going to do some same-game parlays over on Caesars. And if you're a new user on Caesars, your first bet is going to be risk-free up to $1,500 or $1,200. Whatever it says on your screen, that's what your risk-free bet is up to. You just got to be in a state or province or wherever has Caesars Sportsbook where sports betting is permitted. You got to be over 21, and if you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So we have 3 games. It's one of those random Bruins are taking a couple days off before they end that series. So once you get past Game 4, and both teams have 2 home games, that's typically, as you guys know, where I always start looking at unders. You have teams who either really need a win, or they're trying to go up 3-2 in a series, or they're trying to close out a series. We have a couple of those circumstances today. And I'm going to bump it up. You got to bump it up. And don't you know, bump it up. You got to bump it up. And the reason I'm singing so long is because we're going to do that with 2 games. This is going to be a double under. Either I'm going to give you 3. You put 2 of these together, you should have plus money. I'm taking the Stars versus the Wild. I'm bumping it up to under 6.5. I'm taking the Islanders and the Canes, and I'm bumping that up to 6.5. And I'll take the under on both of those. Either one of those, whatever your personal favorite. You do have a brain. It does work. It shouldn't have to be out of my mouth onto your betting ticket. You should be able to pick which one you like more. Either one of those unders with the Edmonton Oilers to win. It's time for Edmonton to actually play a game, control a game, and win a game. And they're coming back with full momentum. They eradicated a 3-0 deficit, came back in the third, won in overtime. One of these games, McDavid is actually going to take over. And I would not be surprised if it's going to be this Game 5. I still think this one goes 7. If the Kings want to win this series, I think they got to somehow find a way to win this game. I wouldn't put it past them because they're probably going to send Jack Campbell out there. And I know he played incredible in that last game. We've seen Jack Campbell. You've bet on the Oilers when they've played Jack Campbell earlier this year. So there's a lot of potential, there are a bunch of different ways this game can go. But I believe it's only a matter of time before these Oilers and these Avalanche throw an actual round 1 beating. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's in Game 5 of both of them. But, this one has been feisty. I'm going to take the Oilers, and then we're going to use that Caesars same-game parlay. And you can do a couple of different options. This is what I do when I typically use that with the Oilers. Give me the Draisaitl assist. It's just that power play. The power play is all-time incredible. The only reason they came back in that game, power play goal. I mean, if I was the coach of the Kings and you took a penalty, you're not playing for like a game. It needs to be drilled into their head. Do not lunge. You can't give that team power plays. But whatever, that's besides the point. I'm going to take a Draisaitl assist with an Oilers win. Also, I'm going to take a McDavid goal with an Oilers win. And then the third one, I'm going to take my man. I bring this guy up all the time, but he's running the point on that power play. And every time it moves to McDavid or Draisaitl, he's touching it or he's blasting in rockets like last game. Evan Bouchard with the Edmonton Oilers gives you over like plus 150. I think it's like plus 170 or something like that. And that sounds juicy to me. So I'll take Bouchard with the Oilers. All those combinations you just heard. But I'm gonna have faith in the Oilers. Now look, I kind of want the Oilers to lose the series. You guys know about my big Western Conference Avalanche bet. For me, I want to get any potential threats out of the way as early as possible. Edmonton could possibly be one of those, but this is a game that I like Edmonton, and I will take the Oilers. And then looking at those other games, you have Carolina, who they're going to want to close out this series. I mean, I don't think they want to go back to New York after finally getting that road victory that's been evading them for such a long time in the playoffs. So for me, I don't know though, because they have lost a ton of forwards. We already know about Pacioretty and Svechnikov. Then they lost Taravine. And last game they lost Jack Drury. You're going to be out there next game. They're going to need you to play out there at forward. So I think they're going to be hungry to score and score early. And in the first, I imagine they're going to be peppering Sorokin. I don't know what the total is. They're going to put it high on this one. And I imagine that Ilya Sorokin is going to have to make a ton of saves. Who knows? They might play Varlamov in this one. So I will go with the over on Sorokin saves. There's an outside chance that he gets peppered early and lets in a couple and they pull him. That's always the worst. But I'll take the over on Ilya Sorokin saves in that one. I will give you the following pick, but of these that I gave you today, just rank it towards the bottom. I do think Carolina at home is going to find a way to close the series. We know how many home games they've won. We took them game 1. We took them game 2. They made you sweat in game 2, but they did come back and win. We know how many games they've won at home these last 2 years in the playoffs. 4 in game 1, then 3, so they were 7-1, now 8-1, 9-1, and I guess I'm going for 10-1. So give me the Carolina Hurricanes, and if you want to do a same game parlay with the Hurricanes, I'm not adding any players. There's no player. I don't trust any of these guys. But give me the Hurricanes, and then also add the Islanders under 2.5 goals. It's just the way that the Hurricanes have been playing defense, and I don't think this is going to be a repeat of last game in the Island where it was like 5-1. I think if the Canes get up like 2-0, it's just going to be shut them down. Let's get out of this series. Let's try to rest up and get somewhat healthy so then we can lose to the Rangers next round like we did last year. But I will take Carolina in that one. And those are the picks that I got for you here on this Tuesday. It's going to be a bump it up kind of Tuesday with a little bit of the Edmonton Oilers. All right? Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel here and click the bell for notifications and everything in case, a video comes out late or early or whatever it is, because sometimes I have to film it early like today or whatnot. Then follow me on Instagram where throughout Monday through Friday, I'll drop an extra pick in the Sniff Central chat, which is right on my homepage. I put 2 in there last night. I'll put in another one tonight. Sometimes, the good thing is I get to see news throughout the day. There are things when I make this video, there's information not available to me, like the Sorokin saves. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's starting. Sometimes on the day of, you learn that a player's not playing, like Valery Nichushkin when he was yanked from the lineup a couple days ago. I had already, actually that was a weekend game, but when news springs out like that, it's better off that I can give it to you somewhere. So follow me on Instagram there, and you will see it either on my story or in the Sniff Central chat where I kind of send those things. All right, guys, I'll be back with you tomorrow where we have some more games to look at. I'll talk to you then.